Hey everyone, it's Josh here from Easy Crypto, and welcome to episode number 3 of Scam Watch. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking specifically about hacks and scams which have gone on Twitter, and particularly the one big one which has happened recently, so we can make you aware of what that is, how it worked, and let you know how you can avoid getting scammed in the future. Because as crypto continues to grow, there's going to be more and more people that have a financial interest in taking advantage of people. So ultimately, we want to communicate in this series what the scams out there are, what kind of to recognize for when you're talking about these things, and particularly how to avoid them, because we don't want anybody to lose some money. So there's going to be tons of stuff going on in the office, kind of in different places, so ignore some of the audio, but I just wanted to get this out to you as quick as possible to be able to ensure that no one gets stung, because we have had some people contact us, thankfully not our clients, but other people that reached out to us for a bit of help and advice who have unfortunately been scammed, which of course was the thought process behind putting out this series in the first instance, to help hopefully mitigate and avoid that for all of you lovely people watching. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it and we'll have a look at what's been happening over in the world of Twitter. So this is pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. So this has hit the news very heavily recently. So Twitter was hacked in a massive Bitcoin scam. Joe Biden, Elon Musk, many other accounts have all been hacked. So here the article lists, some of the people that have been hacked as well. And again, the message that was posted was a really simple, stupid message, effectively posting the same message to all these people's accounts that got hacked, promising users who give them so much Bitcoin to be able to get double their Bitcoin back in return, which is a common scam, as you may have realized from episode number 1 and 2. But we're going to give a bit more detail as to exactly what that is and how it happened here. So pretty much in a nutshell, what happened was a group of what we now know pretty young guys. Actually, I think the people involved with this were even under 18. So some really clever computer programmer guys got together and they realized that they had access to Twitter, and particularly some employees that worked for Twitter, which meant that through their employee profiles they were able to access the back end of some very seriously influential people's Twitter accounts. Joe Biden, Elon Musk, many celebrities that have been named in this. And what they decided to do was simultaneously access all of those accounts and tweet out, basically, we're going to give away some Bitcoin. If you pay me 0.1 Bitcoin, we're going to give you 0.2 back, or words to that effect. Effectively, they said, here's the Bitcoin wallet address. If you send coins here, we'll give you double back whatever you get. And obviously, when this is coming from Elon Musk's official Twitter handle, or when it's coming from Joe Biden, who may well be the next president of America, it's a really interesting kind of thing, because these tweets are not coming from random strangers, but very influential people. And when multiple people put that information out there at the same time, then obviously what may look like a bit of a dodgy thing from a single person looked a bit more legitimate by the fact that other people were doing it too. So that's kind of where we found ourselves, in a bit of a bizarre situation. So of course, it's really simple. If Bitcoin is real money, which it is, why would anybody give you double your money back for no reason whatsoever? I mean, would you really walk up to someone in the street and say, hey, here's £10, give me back 20? That's just not how it works. Of course, that makes no sense when we talk about it in things we understand, but a lot of people still fail to understand exactly what Bitcoin is or how it works, and people just make this presumption that you can just get loads and loads more of it, and all these rich famous people must have lots of it and are just going to do a nice thing and just give me double my money. But obviously that wasn't the case. And obviously the thing that's really interesting with crypto is that because they gave out their public wallet address, you were able to track all of the transactions that went into that address. And obviously, unfortunately, many people did indeed fall for this scam, and that was ultimately what ended up flagging the police and the authorities to realize who these people were behind this, because I believe they managed to connect that Bitcoin account to, I think it was a Coinbase account in America, where people actually had their actual name and details connected to. So a bit of a dumb thing to do for the said scammers. Again, they were quite young, and I don't necessarily think they thought everything through that much. But again, this is Another interesting thing to talk about is that people think Bitcoin is this really anonymous currency and you can't kind of find anyone if they use it. And maybe potentially internally within the ecosystem there is a veil of anonymity there, but obviously in order to get your cash in or out you still need the banking systems at either side if you want to turn into cash at least. So in that respect, people's names are typically connected at either end of the scale. So that's what happened here. These people were caught, and all of that Bitcoin, I believe at this point in time, is frozen, and I guess we'll just have to cross our fingers to see if in this instance people end up getting the funds returned, which is a very unusual thing to happen in the crypto space. It's very difficult to reverse a transaction, impossible in some instances, but again, if these people are now in police custody, I'm sure there's something that can be done there. So it's a bit of an interesting one, but again, it uses the hallmarks of trust. They used the fact that we have famous people saying these things to try and give that veil of trust, rightly or wrongly, to take advantage of people. So again, in the YouTube scam video that we had in episode 2, people were taking advantage of Steve Wozniak's trust and his discussions and talks about Bitcoin and using that fake video footage, or the real video footage rather, but in a malicious manner. Here again, we've got the same type of thing being used, the same tricks being used, using second or third party trust from these really exciting famous people, and people are just presuming that, hey, yeah, sure, they've got money, we can just send a little bit of coin and they're going to send me some back. So, you know, not to burst anyone's bubble, but people aren't just in the vein of giving out double your money for no apparent reason. So it's quite a simple scam. It's a trust-based scam. It kind of alludes to these facts, and if it was just a random stranger down the street who was doing this, it wouldn't have caused such a stir. But of course, because it was such big famous people, it caused quite a ruffle in the community. And obviously it wasn't a great thing for crypto. It may have been first people's communication and contact with cryptocurrency, and to see your favorite celebrity or such get hacked in that way and, you know, get associated with Bitcoin negatively was quite detrimental, and, you know, something that we don't want for the industry. But again, I just wanted to put this video out there to help people to be educated as to what it was, what it wasn't, and ultimately how people might be able to avoid it again. So I guess the kind of takeaway tips for today are: do not send anybody Bitcoin unless you are knowingly and willingly exchanging for a real life good or service with that person and you want to pay in crypto. That's fine, those companies exist, but don't send anyone money on the magical promise of getting back more money than you're gonna get. That's just not the way that the crypto sector works. So please don't think of it any differently than pounds, pence or dollars for the purpose of these types of businesses. So the whole premise of this series is really simple. It's just to give people a good overview of how things work, what it's all about, and let people know that there are people out there that can help if you get stuck. Again, we don't profess to be, you know, some type of scam agency that we can solve all your problems. In a lot of instances, there's not much that can be done, but it's always good to try and understand these things so we can help make this content to stop people getting taken advantage of in the first place. So if you'd like to give this video a little like on the buttons down below there, that'll be really, really helpful, or maybe down here actually, yeah, over this side. If you could do that, that'd be really appreciated. Help more people see this across the YouTube platform. Perhaps share it with any work colleagues or businesses or friends that you may want to be getting into crypto but need to avoid some of these things. So this was episode number 3, and there'll be links below to the other 5 episodes within this series that are talking about different types of scams and hacks and the things and tips to avoid there. Hopefully you found this quite useful, and we can't wait to see you again in the next video.